Okay, we're going to get started. So this session is going to be part 2, and what we're going to focus on in this session is giving you guys a bunch of apps to take a look at. Because I've broken them down into several different categories, but this will give you an idea to kind of see what some of the apps are out there. Now when I talk about apps, there's a lot of categories of apps that are out there, and there's a lot of different apps within those categories. I've only got about 3 or 4 examples of the ones that I kind of like. There are other ones out there, but this will give you an idea to be able to take a look at some of the apps, kind of look at some of those categories, and to get some ideas on what some applications you might want to have with the kids that you work with. Because there are, like I said, there are over almost 650,000 apps out there. Where do you find it and all those different types of things? So we'll show you a couple tools that you can use to be able to find those. Again, there's my email address. If you want to drop me an email, that would be great, and to get on that list, and I'll throw you on there. One thing I didn't mention a little bit earlier, that it is blind copied, so you're not going to get spammed by anybody, except for me on my birthday. But other than that, you know, again, if you ever want to get off the list, just let me know. Okay? So when we start taking a look at apps, there are basically 3 types of apps that are out there. There's the iPhone apps. And the iPhone apps, when you get an iPhone app, that will run on an iPhone, it will run on an iPod Touch, and it will run on an iPad. However, when it runs on an iPad, it will typically be only on the size on the screen that it takes up is about the size of an iPhone. It doesn't take up the whole entire screen. And there's typically, you'll see a little button on the bottom that has a 2x on it that will magnify it or double the size of it so it fills the entire screen. Now, it's not taking advantage of the resolution of these new devices, but again, it does fill the entire screen. Problem is when we start working with a lot of the kiddos that we work with, they have a tendency either with their hands or their fingers or whatever to be able to hit that 2 times button, and their app keeps on going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The second category of apps are called iPad-only apps. And these will only work on the iPad, and they were specifically designed only to run on the iPad. You will not be able to run it on an iPod Touch or an iPhone if you want to be able to do that. In fact, when you do a search for them on an iPhone or iPod Touch, a lot of times you won't find it, or you'll come up with a message saying, this is an iPad-only app, you know, do you want to look at it in the iTunes store? But you will not be able to even purchase it or download it from your device. The third type of app is called universal apps, and these are really the best of both worlds. Because when you download or you purchase a universal app, you're really getting an iPhone version and an iPad version, and depending on what device you open it up on, it's optimized for that device. So whenever you have an opportunity, you're kind of vacillating between, should I buy this app, this ABC Monkey app, or this ABC Monkey app? When you see one that is universal, I always tell people to go toward that universal, because even if you're not on an iPad, eventually you may want to go to an iPad, and this will allow you to be able to run it in full resolution on that screen. Now usually they'll say they're universal apps, but if you look in the upper, right in the Evernote, you'll see there's a little gray box with a plus on it. That's kind of a visual indicator that that is a universal app. So if you want to take a look at that when you're purchasing that, you would take a look at a universal apps. One of the things that happens a lot, especially when we start rolling out iPads or parents start buying iPads, is I get a lot of calls from teachers or emails from teachers or from parents saying, I got a new iPad, what app should I get? Or I've got iPads for my classroom, and what are the top apps for kids with autism? And again, it's like, so I say we really need to step back and take a look at it. We need to take a thoughtful approach at purchasing apps and looking at apps and even putting these devices into the hands of some of our kids. And Joyce Zabala, and she's here this week, so if you have a chance to go listen to her, it'll be great to go take, I would encourage you to go to one of her sessions, because she's really does a lot with the SET framework, and she developed the SET framework. And really what the SET framework is, it's a thoughtful approach to purchasing assistive technology. But it also is a nice approach to take when you start looking for apps. Because a lot of times when I get a call from a parent saying, I want to buy these apps for my kid, what should I get? I have to go back and I say, here's some questions I need to know. And I go through this SET framework every time, because it really is a great approach to it.